the beginning of 2025, I made a video on my predictions for the guitar world, and some of them came true, and some of them didn't. So in this video, I want to talk about that, because this year was kind of a crazy year. I mean, it was really busy for me, and there was a lot of potentially unexpected things to happen, but a lot of good things to happen. So let's jump right in and talk about my 5 predictions for 2025, what came true, and, well, what never happened. The first thing that I predicted was that amp sales would continue to decline in 2025, and to be honest with you, yeah, that continued to happen, unfortunately. As a lover of amps, it is just absolutely brutal that amps just aren't selling or moving in the way of previous years. They are slowly becoming the way of the dinosaur, maybe? God, I hope not. I hate saying that because I collect amps, and maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better for having spent so much money on them over the years, but good Lord. We still have some of the amps in the guitar shop that are there from when I originally made the 2025 prediction. They are still here, so they're about to have a birthday inside of the guitar shop. And yeah, prices on that stuff still continued to get higher and higher. Boss Katana still continues to be the #1 seller. So in this sense, yeah, I guess that prediction came true. Amp sales unfortunately continued to decline, where plugins and the digital world of amp simulation continues to evolve and just get better and better. But I guess we did have like some AI crap this year come out too, where you could just type in like, I guess, whatever you want and get whatever amp sound you want. But let's be honest, that is super freaking lame. The second prediction that I made was that vintage guitar prices are only going to continue to go up. And, well, let's take a look. At the start of the year, I talked about a 1973 Fender Mustang with the competition race stripe and how I was seeing them listed at the time at around $4,000. And when I just checked on reverb.com, like right before I started filming this video, I was seeing some at the lowest, like super beat to hell at $2,500, and some even asking up to like $5,300 to $5,500. Now, whether or not they'll get that, I don't know. Good for them if somebody does end up buying that, but they are now asking more money than at the start of the year. So I guess we could say that that prediction held true as well. I mean, they're not making more vintage guitars, right? What Fender's doing instead is like, we're making remakes of the vintage series, and they've been doing that forever and ever and ever, right? You had the AVRIs, then you had the vintage series, now you have the vintage 2s, and it's just, they're going to continue to do that because the prices of vintage gear just keeps going up and up and up. But let me just tell you, you could get a freaking great Fender with the vintage feel and not have to buy new, because there's so many of them out there with that spec. For instance, if you wanted a 1957 feel with the maple neck and like the V-shaped profile, there are a ton of them out there, and they all play great, usually. I say they all do. There's probably some bad ones out there. But let's be real. The American stuff is great, and the new stuff is going to continue to get super expensive, and the vintage stuff is going to continue to get super expensive. So that prediction came true. The third prediction I talked about was the push for more eco-friendly environments within the guitar manufacturing world, or the push to be more clean in the guitar world. This came true as well, with several companies still pushing or advocating for less plastics in the use of manufacturing. Martin being a big proprietor on that. They are pushing more for less plastics in their fine components. I mean, we're seeing stuff like the liquid metal pins and whatnot, and I commend Martin a lot. We also have Taylor doing huge pushes towards that as well with the Urban Series guitars. We have Yamaha, who's talking about reduced energy costs or reduced energy when manufacturing guitars, whatever the heck that means. I have no idea what they're doing to reduce it, and this is just like kind of what I did some quick Google searching and some quick AI searching to just chat about this and figure out, hey, you know, who's doing what. But apparently Yamaha's doing that. Don't know what that means, but I'm glad to hear that they're doing it. And we've got Ibanez talking about that as well. So yeah, that prediction came true as well. So far, I've been on a roll. Pat myself on the back right here. And it's really good to see that, you know, we are pushing to save the world and use less plastics. And things that could be harmful to the environment or kill, animals or ecosystems. We don't want that, right? So great. I'm glad we're doing that. The fourth prediction I want to talk about was that boutique pedal prices will start to come down. This one, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Like in some channels, I've seen the prices come down, but in other channels, I've seen them either get more expensive or stay about the same. So we have some stuff like JHS, I think, released a couple of pedals this year, and they were kind of expensive. They kind of, either stayed at the average price of what new pedals go for or increased by about 5 to 10%. And maybe we could say it's tariffs, but every single company this year basically increased their prices due to tariffs, or at least what they said was due to tariffs. Although a lot of that really didn't make a lot of sense to me either, because we had stuff like with Marshall where there was like really cheap components that increased by 10% in cost, but then you had amps that increased by 10% in cost. So I don't know if they just did like a flat, here's 10% over everything, even though obviously the cost of amps are way more expensive than the cost of like maybe a tiny little practice amp or something that might cost 50 to 80 bucks. Does that make any sense? Regardless, components did increase in price, allowing for a lot of the companies to increase the cost or increase the MAP price, which is the minimum advertising price that they can advertise online. But you still got some companies that are doing really good pedals that are under $100 or right at the $100 mark, like the Fender Hammertone series, all that kind of stuff. And we do have some stuff by Electro Harmonics, one of my favorite companies, the makers of the Big Muff Fuzz and the Small Clone, all of those. And there are still quite a bit of pedals from them that are under $100. And I know that they've been around forever, but in some ways I still kind of consider them boutique in some of the stuff that they're putting out. So did that prediction come true? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. What do you think? Is our pedal prices doomed? Are we screwed? Or hey, is it still worth buying a bunch of pedals because they're fun? And the last prediction that I made was that virtual reality will become more in line with the guitar playing world. And that didn't really happen this year. At least not like on a mainstream level, which I'm actually surprised, but kind of looking back at the whole year, I guess I'm not that surprised. Like, I really thought this year that, like, the Meta glasses and the virtual goggles and stuff, which I've never used, but I thought that they would really take off more than they did. I mean, I've been getting a ton of ads on my social media for the Meta glasses, and I think they're cool, but they're still obviously in their infancy. And maybe as this stuff continues to grow, then companies will start to be like, how can we incorporate like creativity into this? And like, okay, now you can play guitar in conjunction with your Meta glasses, or we're going to show you the notes through your glasses on like where you can hit. Like, that would be really cool. That would be really cool. But I guess it didn't really get there yet. So maybe that should be a prediction for 2026. And that is somewhere where my prediction did not come true. But I want to know, guys, what are your predictions for 2026? In the guitar world? Should be interesting. I am certainly excited for whatever chapter is next in the guitar world, be it pedals, be it guitars, be it maybe laser guitar strings. That would be pretty wild, right? If you enjoy this kind of content, do me a favor. Be sure to like, comment your thoughts down below. Let's get a conversation going, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you like all guitar related content. Now I'm going to go shred on my Gibson Explorer and start to make a video.